Hello, welcome back to the show now. This is the signature segment of the 3-hour news show, See the Stories. The 2023 ASEAN Summit, which runs from today until the 7th, will also feature various events, including the ASEAN Plus Youth Summit. This event will take place in Bogor, West Java, and Jakarta also from tomorrow until Thursday.
The ASEAN Plus Youth Summit is a forum or youth organization in the ASEAN region and various ASEAN partner countries. The Youth Forum is not only actively involved in the Indonesian chairmanship, but is intended to discuss, negotiate, and propose policies to ASEAN leaders. More than 10 country leaders and 2,000 members of the youth will attend the summit. To know more about the ASEAN Plus Youth Summit 2023, we now have in our studio the Indonesian delegation leader at the ASEAN Plus Youth Summit 2023, Raihan Zahirah. Good afternoon, Raihan.
Hello, good afternoon.
So you go by Raihan, not Zahirah, right?
Yes, Raihan.
All right, first of all, could you please highlight the key differences between the ASEAN Summit held in May and the one this month?
Okay, so youth, we believe that regionalism it's come into two ways, inter-regionalism and also intra-regionalism. For the ASEAN 42nd Summit in May, we believe it's more into like intra-regionalism, where ASEAN, through Indonesian chairmanship, more focusing on strengthening the internal of ASEAN.
Oh, so intra-regionalism and inter-regionalism. Okay, so you presented recommendations to ASEAN leaders in May. Have there been any notable developments ever since?
Yes, of course, there has been so many exciting news from the youth and also the government, because most of our recommendation which coming from the May has been acknowledged by the government in the chairman's statement of the 42nd Summit.
All right, and now could you please share the agenda and also the main theme for this year's ASEAN Plus Youth Summit?
Yep, so the main agenda is sustaining growth sustainability. Growth sustainability is a combination of growth and sustainability.
I reckon so.
Yeah.
I suspect that.
Because we want to cultivate growth, we want also to sustain the sustainability, we also want like to fostering inclusion as well as achieving the parity, because we believe that it is also like important to reach all of the dimension of our livelihood instead of like only focusing on digital topics.
Okay, so in the opening ceremony of the summit, also we heard being mentioned repeatedly being inclusive. And from the youth point of view, how is the importance of being inclusive in terms of ASEAN?
I think it is really important because we believe that all of the people in this world born in the perfect conditions. We believe there are also some of the people who is categorized as the disabled group, marginalized group, disadvantaged group, as well as youth not in education, employment and training, or youth and EET. So it is also important to consider that inclusivity.
And how did you select the main theme for the ASEAN Plus Youth Summit? Was it based on previous discussions with ASEAN youth representatives? Or?
It's sort of like based on the previous discussion, because we have discussed regarding, okay, this is too much for putting its focus on digital. So that is why we did some multiple iterations, research, and also in-depth study along with the Directorate of ASEAN Cooperation in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Republic of Indonesia. And after that, we decide that we are going to bring five main topics, five main themes, subtopics in this year. The first one will be digital literacy inclusion. We discuss regarding maximizing digital economy through digital literacy and access to financing for startups. The second, we discuss also about food security, regarding accessibility to adequate life. Third, we also discuss regarding green economy. So for example, like paving the way to green growth and sustainable future. Fourth, we discuss about future of education and work, related to how to harness young talents for a better future. And last, the most important thing will be health. We also discuss regarding how to create the best health system in ASEAN.
Okay, so you were mentioning about this year's is being the intra-relation, if I'm not mistaken.
Intra and intra.
Okay, intra. So that being said, also, I assume, correct me if I'm wrong, that the representatives, the youth representatives from the member states are also here in Indonesia at the moment.
Yes.
Okay, so how does ASEAN Summit 2023 aim to promote cross-border collaboration among the youth from different member states to collectively address common challenges?
Yep. So we believe that the government already done several things for the past 3 until 5 days. The first one will be the ASEAN Outlook on Indo-Pacific Forum. We believe that the attendees is not only just like a mature man, but also mature woman, but also like a youth who would like to showcase his or her project and also doing some business matchmaking. So that's the first thing. Second thing as well, through the ASEAN Plus Declaration, because we believe that the cooperation should not only within the ASEAN, but also within the ASEAN Plus countries. So that is why ASEAN Plus Youth Summit is also inviting the country outside from ASEAN. So we also invite India, Australia, New Zealand, and any other country as well.
That's actually interesting.
All right. And what specific impact or outcomes do you wish to see throughout the ASEAN Summit this year?
Three outcomes. The first one will be relevance. So we believe that ASEAN should show its relevance amidst the multilateralism and multilateralism. Second thing, navigating the turbulence. We believe that ASEAN also should improve its mechanism, improve its institutional framework to be able to navigate the challenges in the future. And last but not least, moment of truth. For the moment of truth, we believe that Indonesia should show its commitment and also leadership for the region and also promoting the peace and stability, not only for the larger extent of society, but also for the youth as well.
Okay, so mentioning about the ASEAN Plus, there will be representatives as well from other countries, but I will convey that question later. But still with Raihan here in our studio, and See the Stories will continue after the break, so do not go anywhere.